So continuing on, if we're finding the inverse of a function in which we're given the actual function equation, we're going to follow these following steps. We're going to replace the f of x with a y. Then we're going to change the x and the y, just like we did with the coordinates, and solve for y, and then go back to our original. So in this case, we're going to replace the f of x with a y, and we get 4x minus 8. Then we're going to literally switch the spot of the x and the y. So we have x equals 4y minus 8. And now we're going to solve for y. So I'm going to add 8 to both sides. 4y equals x plus 8. And then I'm going to divide by the 4. So y equals x plus 8 divided by 4. And then the notation we use for inverse is f negative 1 of x. So that's going to be x plus 8 over 4. So that is the inverse equation. Now if you look at the original equation, we were multiplying by 4 and then minusing 8. You should find that the operations are the reverse. So we're going to divide by 4 and add 8. Okay? So looking at the next one, y equals negative 1/2 x plus 11. We're going to switch the x and the y. So x equals 1/2 y plus 11, and then we're going to minus the 11. Negative 1/2 y equals x minus 11, and to get rid of the negative 1/2, we can multiply by negative 2. Y equals negative 2x plus 22. So now our f of negative 1 is negative 2x plus 22. So now we have an example. Carter sells paper supplies and he makes a base salary of $2,200 each month. He also earns commission of 5% on his sales. His total earnings for the month is $2,200 plus 0.5x. We want to find the inverse. So again, we're going to switch x and y. So y equals 2,200 plus 0.05x. We're going to switch x equals 2,200 plus 0.5y. And then to solve for x, we're going to subtract the 2,200, or solve for y, sorry. X minus 2,200 equals 0.05y. If I want to get rid of the 0.05, I can multiply the whole thing by 100, and that's going to move my decimal, so I have 100x minus 220,000 equals 5y, and then divide everything by 5. X equal, or sorry, not x, 20x minus 44,000 equals y. And then we have the answer. And then what do x and f of x represent in the context of the inverse? So the first one, the x is representing the total sales, and the f of x would be telling us, the total earnings, and then the total sales. And then if we want to find his last month earnings, if his earnings were $3,400, we want to find his sales, we're going to use the second equation. 20 times 3,450 minus 44,000 is $25,000.